Carolyn Ray has spent her 30-year career advocating for women. She's an entrepreneur, a single mother of a 19-year-old daughter, a leadership coach to women, and a CEO activator mentoring women-owned businesses. She was also ranked as one of Canada's top 100 female entrepreneurs on the Profit Chatelaine W100 list. After 10 years at brand strategy firm Interbrand, most recently as the Canadian CEO, Carolyn started her own firm in 2017. Then in 2019, she was asked to continue the legacy of the beloved women's travel magazine, Journeywoman by Erica M., daughter of the late Evelyn Hannon, the original Journeywoman, who inspired a generation of women to travel solo. Welcome to the show, Carolyn.
Oh, thank you so much, Candace. It's great to be here.
So I knew Evelyn, she's near and dear to my heart. But for those listening who don't know about Evelyn's legacy, let's tell people what Journeywoman is about.
Sure. Well, Evelyn was a real innovator. She started traveling solo after her divorce, similar to what I did, but in a time when women were not involved that much in travel. So men were controlling the editorial, the advertising, all of the the content was geared towards men. So she set out to change that, and here we are 30 years later. She's created an unbelievable community of women around the world who have been inspired by her to travel and travel solo and do incredible things. So she's really just an inspiration.
So this community of women, you reach out to routinely to get a pulse on what's happening in the travel world. So tell me about a survey you recently conducted with 1,500 women.
Sure. Well, Journeywoman is a magazine, but it's also a community. And when the pandemic happened in March, I reached out to them and I said, how can I help you? How can this platform that we have, this platform that is all about empowering women, help you in this time? And here we are 4 months later. We've been doing weekly virtual calls every week with our community. We've been doing seminars and webinars to help them, get through and think about bravery and courage and optimism. And so this goes far beyond travel. This is really about how do we support each other as women in this time. So it's been an incredible experience. And one of the things that I realized in having these conversations was the really, really important role of women in travel. So not only do women make most of the purchase decisions, 80–85% around travel, not only are we the most frequent travelers, but there are many, many women-owned businesses around the world that depend on tourism. So part of what I want to do is to support those businesses and use Journeywoman as a way to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I recently did an interview with the W20 Sherpa this year, and I was surprised to hear how high the number of women in tourism is. It's quite a large number of women who are actually propelling the tourism industry forward. So we are hurting on both sides, those who love to travel and those who want you to come visit and explore their countries.
That's right. And the survey that we did, and we just completed a few weeks ago, is really, in my view, about how women will help save travel. And if women are not properly engaged, and if they don't really trust what's going on, they will not travel, they will not support it. And that's what our survey found was that there needs to be more work done to really engage with women and not just talk about all the things that will change, but also show evidence of that. And I think what our survey showed is that there are some industries, within the travel sector that are lacking in terms of trust. For example, airlines and insurance companies really came to the top as they've got some work to do to regain the trust of women. And without these women, without us on board, I think the travel industry will take longer to recover.
So tell me about then the generational drive of travel, because you had some findings there as well.
We did. And I think there's a bit of a misperception around who actually has disposable income to spend on travel, who holds the purchase decision. It's, there's a quote I like, Mother Nature is not a millennial, and so our journey women who are typically age 55 and up in fact, we have Journeywomen that are in their 90s, are the ones that are out traveling. You know, they travel a lot, they spend a lot of money, and they're very experienced, they're very wise about the sector, and they're the ones I think that are going to really help change happen. So I'm a Gen Xer, we have a lot of baby boomers. You know, this is the generation that is really going to change things in the travel sector.
Well, I mean, as a Gen Xer, I'm totally on board with that, of course. I'm completely biased towards this generation. So what else did you find in your survey that people should know?
Well, I think, you know, I think the main finding is around trust. And if we can help the travel sector kind of work toward making some positive changes, you know, there's a lot of shifts happening in travel, and it is up to us as women, I think, to help make those shifts happen. You know, a lot of the changes around the decision-making process and what things are going to be important to us as women when we travel. So safety has always been important, but now we're redefining safety to think about transportation in and out of a destination. And we're thinking about what healthcare is available for us in and out of a destination. And so it's almost like less about the destination itself and more about how are we getting to that destination, and then how are we going to be supported both through healthcare and insurance. And even though most of our audience, most of our community does buy travel insurance, there's still a lot of, you know, misunderstanding and confusion, I think, about insurance. So we want to feel protected and safe and confident when we go on a trip. But on the other hand, there's a lot of complexity that's arisen because of COVID and even before COVID.
I agree. And I was surprised, actually. I received a refund from my travel insurance, a COVID refund that came through recently. Totally unexpected, did not expect that. But I'm still unsure, am I insured if I leave the country to go travel? Because there are places you can travel to now that are open for business, like Jamaica is open for business, Grenada is. So these kinds of places I would love to go, but I don't know if I'm insured there yet. So I have to find those answers out myself. But let's talk about local travel right now, because I think that is the focus. Mm-hmm. What are you seeing? What are you hearing from your partners in terms of places to go locally that are really meeting the needs of women?
Yeah, so we, a few weeks ago, you know, I usually travel every week of the year. So this has been a bit of a frustrating time for me. And I think probably last year I probably did 15 or 20 trips. So, you know, I was hardly ever home. But this is an opportunity for us to travel at home and to explore our own backyards. So that's a theme that we've been working on for the past few weeks. I had the pleasure of interviewing David Crombie a few weeks ago and talking about the secrets of Toronto from a former mayor, which was amazing. And tomorrow, actually, I'm leaving on a trip, and my editor and I are going all across Ontario, and we're going to stay at very unique places like teepees and yurts and tree houses and houseboats and cabins and glamping. And but more importantly, we're going to test out our new travel safety criteria and see how that does. So we're going to look at not just the places that we're going, but also our small resorts and hotels and Airbnbs, are they actually following through on the commitments that they're making on their websites around safety and hygiene, and what things would we recommend to help improve that? How do you need to pack differently, So we'll be in Bobcaygeon, we'll be in Algonquin Park, we'll be in little tiny towns all over the province, just trying to explore and really embrace this time, because there's still a lot we can learn, even if we're not getting on a plane and going somewhere. I find the planning process is sometimes just as exciting as the actual doing. So,
and I think it's important to recognize that people the world over want to flock to Canada. Yes. We are an amazing country. We have incredible things in our backyard that, that we really should be getting up close with. So people are going to want to follow along with this. How can they do that?
So most of our footage of this trip is going to be on Instagram at Journeywoman_original. And then we'll also be doing feature articles and editorial on our website, on our Facebook page. and everything is Journeywoman. So we're journeywoman.com, we're Journeywoman Twitter, and we're Journeywoman on Facebook.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for joining me today, Carolyn.
Thank you, Candace. My pleasure.